Welcome to Book Central Inside the Pages, your go-to podcast for everything about book. I'm your host, Abby, and today we have a special guest with us. Joshua Hardy is here to share his expertise on how to write a captivating children's book. Joshua, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Abby. I'm excited to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. Let's dive straight in. Many aspiring authors struggle with finding the best idea for their children's book. It can be overwhelming to think about what might capture the imagination of young readers. What advice can you give to those looking for that perfect idea?
That's a fantastic question, Abby. The best ideas often come from personal experiences, childhood memories, or simple observations. Think about what fascinated you as a child. What kinds of stories did you love hearing? It could be anything from a magical adventure to a story about friendship and family. Another approach is to pay attention to the interests and curiosities of children around you. What questions do they ask? What makes their eyes light up? Sometimes, the simplest moments or the most ordinary events can spark the most extraordinary ideas. It's also helpful to keep a notebook handy to jot down any random thoughts or inspirations that come to you throughout the day.
That's great advice, Joshua. Once an author has that brilliant idea, how do they go about building compelling characters that will resonate with children?
Building characters is all about making them relatable and memorable, especially for children. Start by defining your character's traits, likes, dislikes, and even their quirks. Think about what makes them unique and interesting. Children connect with characters who have distinct personalities and clear goals. It's important to give your characters challenges or obstacles to overcome. For example, a shy mouse who wants to be brave or a little girl with a big imagination who embarks on an unexpected adventure. Characters should grow and learn something by the end of the story, providing young readers with both entertainment and subtle lessons.
That sounds wonderful and very insightful. Now, children's books vary in length. Some are short and sweet, while others are a bit longer. How do authors find the right length for their story, ensuring it's suitable for their intended audience?
The length of a children's book depends largely on the target age group. For picture books, which are typically aimed at younger children, the standard length is about 32 pages with around 500 to 1,000 words. These books rely heavily on illustrations to tell the story. For early readers, you might aim for a bit more text, but still keep sentences short and simple. Books for middle-grade readers can be longer, often up to 20,000 words or more, as these readers are ready for more complex plots and deeper character development. It's crucial to keep the language age-appropriate and the pacing quick to hold a child's attention throughout the story.
Speaking of attention, we all know that starting a book quickly is essential to hook young readers. How can writers grab a child's attention from the very first page and ensure they stay engaged?
Starting with a bang is key, Abby. You want to pull the reader in immediately with something exciting, intriguing, or humorous. Begin with action, dialogue, or an intriguing question that piques curiosity. For example, Lily had never seen a dragon before, but today was no ordinary day. This type of opening raises questions and makes the reader eager to find out more. It's also effective to introduce the main character and the central conflict or problem right away, giving the reader a reason to care and continue reading.
That's intriguing and definitely would grab my attention. Creating a problem is a fundamental part of storytelling. How should writers approach this aspect to make their story compelling for children?
The problem in a children's book should be age-appropriate and relatable to the young audience. It could be as simple as losing a favorite toy or as complex as dealing with a new sibling or moving to a new place. The problem drives the story forward and gives the character a goal to work towards. Ensure that the problem is clear from the beginning and that the resolution is satisfying. The resolution should also be realistic and achievable for the character, providing a sense of accomplishment and learning.
I've noticed that many successful children's books use repetition. Why is repetition important, and how can it be effectively incorporated into a story?
Repetition is crucial in children's books because it helps with understanding and retention. It makes the story predictable and comforting for young readers. Repetition in phrases, actions, or sounds can make the book more engaging and enjoyable to read aloud. It also helps reinforce the story's themes and messages. For example, repeating a phrase like, "But the big bad wolf couldn't blow the house down," in different contexts can create a rhythm that children love and remember. It's all about making the story fun and memorable.
Writing for illustrators is another key aspect of creating a children's book. How should authors write with illustrators in mind to ensure a seamless collaboration?
Writing with illustrators in mind means leaving room for the illustrations to tell part of the story. Write visually and provide enough detail to guide the illustrator, but don't be overly descriptive. Remember, illustrations bring your story to life and can convey emotions and actions that words alone might not. Trust your illustrator's creativity and expertise to enhance your story. Collaboration is key, so maintaining open communication and being receptive to the illustrator's ideas can lead to a more cohesive and visually appealing book.
Those are excellent points. Ending a story quickly and effectively is another challenge for many writers. How can authors ensure their endings are satisfying and leave a lasting impression?
The ending should provide a clear and satisfying resolution to the main problem introduced at the beginning of the story. It's often helpful to circle back to the beginning or the central theme of the story, creating a sense of completeness. For example, if the story starts with a missing pet, end with the pet being found and a lesson learned about responsibility or friendship. The ending should be concise and leave the reader with a feeling of closure and satisfaction. And what about choosing the perfect title? Titles are often the first thing that catch a reader's eye. How can authors choose a title that captures the essence of their story and appeals to their audience? The title should be catchy, reflect the essence of the story, and intrigue potential readers. It should give a hint about the plot or main character and be easy to remember. Keeping it simple is often best. Test different titles with children or peers to see which ones resonate the most. A good title can make a huge difference in attracting readers and making your book stand out.
That makes a lot of sense. Ensuring the story is the right length is crucial for maintaining engagement. How do authors know when their story is the right length?
One of the best ways to gauge the length is to read the story aloud. If it feels too long or too short, adjust accordingly. Pay attention to the pacing and the flow of the story. Each scene should contribute to the narrative and keep the reader engaged. Feedback from children or beta readers can also be invaluable. They can provide insights into which parts are too slow or too rushed.
Finding an illustrator is a big step in the process. What should authors look for when selecting an illustrator to bring their story to life?
Finding the right illustrator involves looking for someone whose style matches the tone of your story. Review their previous work to see if it resonates with your vision. It's also important to consider their experience with children's books specifically. Collaboration is key, so finding someone who is willing to communicate and share ideas can make a big difference. Websites like Behance or children's book illustrator agencies can be great resources for finding talented illustrators.
Writing for different age groups must require different approaches. Can you elaborate on the key differences when writing for various age groups?
Absolutely. For younger children, focus on simple language, repetition, and colorful illustrations. These elements help keep their attention and make the story more engaging. Early readers need engaging stories with simple plots and relatable characters that help them practice their reading skills. Middle grade readers are ready for more complex stories, deeper themes, and character development. They can handle more intricate plots and subtler messages. Always keep the developmental stage of your audience in mind, and tailor your language, themes, and complexity accordingly.
This has been incredibly insightful, Joshua. Thank you for sharing your expertise on writing children's books. Your tips and advice will undoubtedly help many aspiring authors.
My pleasure, Abby. I hope this helps aspiring authors create wonderful stories for children.
I'm sure it will. Thank you, Joshua, and thank you to our listeners for joining us on Book Central Inside the Pages. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time, keep reading and keep writing.